because in crypto, if you have lives and holidays, you're doing something wrong, man. You're losing an opportunity. Every day there's something to do. Crypto never sleeps. So I'm here.
Garden.
I've known Sats Terminal for a really long time, but yeah, people who are watching might not have heard of it. But first, like, just tell us a little bit about what yourself stand. How did you get into crypto? What did you do before?
I got into crypto quite a long time ago, actually in end of 2017.
Nice.
At the time, I was working with a couple of guys in Ukraine on a startup that was doing e-commerce SaaS solutions around like email marketing and notification marketing, all of that stuff. And we were very close with like OG projects that were launching ICOs at the time.
Okay.
And we knew guys from Dash, from Stellar, a couple of other like old school legacy crypto projects. And some of our friends from those crypto, they came and they said, hey, if you introduce like a coin to this group of users, but because we had sort of like B2B2C structure, then it would make sense. So we started exploring, we started going deep into the crypto. I started reading Bitcoin white paper, believe it or not. And then after reading all of those docs, after understanding crypto, asking a bunch of questions, multiple iterations, I think we understood it a little bit better. We packed the product to do an ICO. We raised money, which did a very successful product launch. And then after that, I was changing companies. I was working with different brands. I was working with Bitcoin.com for a couple of years. We were launching an exchange in Malta in 2019. I think we were launching the first P2P platform to sell services in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. We did a bunch of like really cool things with the guys back then. And then just before starting Sats Terminal, I was running operations for relatively big Eastern European exchange called Zonda Crypto, which at the time was partnered with some of the big football clubs and other sports celebrities in Europe. And then I met Rishabh. Online. At the time I was like, corporate wise, I was well accomplished. I was a little bit, not gonna lie, I was getting bored by what I was doing. And then I met this guy who was like 10 years younger than me, very, very smart. And he had incredible experience. And I thought, hey, I want to help him with his project. And he brought me as sort of more of an advisory role. And we started working on the first project. It went really well. We met IRL, and then everything started. I think we hit up like from the very first day we met, we spent like 10 days together traveling. And we knew we wanted to build something together. And then pretty much Sats Terminal started from that.
I always feel like a 10x developer and like a 10x executor is like such a great combination.
Yes.
Because it's like super, like always like made in heaven when you kind of get that matchup. What was your opinion of Rishabh like when you met him? Like how did you end up meeting him? Like on Twitter or something?
No, so I met him actually through Telegram group. It was something like crypto executives in Middle East or something like that. And he was looking for feedback on the product he was building at the time. And I was sort of like HR payroll thing, but with a couple of cool quirks, cool features. And I needed that type of solution to pay a lot of contractors in Philippines.
Nice.
So we got on the call, and that's how pretty much we met. And then he started telling me about all of those robots that he was building when he was a kid. He was showing me everything. He connected me with some of his advisors. And some of the people, by the way, that he connected me with, they were also like true crypto OGs. Like there were guys mentioned in Ethereum white paper, for example, like really OG developers circa 2014. So it was pretty cool. And then you were asking how we met. Well, we met online, but then IRL, I met him in Argentina because he was having a semester, like he was studying 4 months there. So I came to meet him, and then we spent the time, and it was amazing. And yeah, I kind of agree with you because he is not only a 10x developer, he is also non-stop R&D lab. He's like always looking for new ideas, and he has a very he likes to question. I think he wakes up every day, he's thinking what I can do. Maybe I can do something else. Maybe I'm missing something that would be more successful than what we are doing right now. And I think that's amazing because my role is to actually make sure that we are staying focused on what we are building, not to do 50 projects. But at the same time, if you're early stage startup and you're locked in on just one thing, what if narrative changes, or you're not achieving product market fit, or for
Exactly.
example, you don't have trading activity anymore, then so I think yeah, it's a great combo, and I like to talk about that every time I go on a podcast, and everyone asks me these questions. I think we truly have a good combination.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing I realize in crypto is time. Like it just moves so fast. 1 2 months, things move at jet speed, and it's always good to have one person on the team who's constantly their mind is just like ringing with ideas. It helps you to just stay ahead of the curve, no matter what.
That's so true. That's so true. Even like with like for example, we released the Borrow product,
Yeah,
and straight away we went with the Borrow. It's like a cross chain aggregator, and it's working. Is beautiful, great product, and straight away we released it. We had a couple of brainstorming calls. Oh, how do we make maybe we make instant borrowing experience? Maybe we add this. So we are not even like, even if we have this one idea, okay, let's enable users to get Bitcoin backed credit. We're still thinking maybe we can build some cool quirks in the product, something that no one else has.
yeah,
And that's very important because in crypto, what I see a lot is that there's a lot of copycats
yeah,
and a lot of people are chasing. There might be one or two trendsetters, 5, 10%,
yeah.
90% copycats, they're just chasing. Best example, uh, guess, what is the best example right now? No, prediction
Polygon.
markets.
Yeah, yeah.
Prediction markets
Exactly.
everywhere. Like everyone is doing prediction market, guys. There's already
Yeah,
I know at least like 15 platforms. Like we had this Easy Labs batch 2 months
yeah,
ago. 6 projects in the batch from 15 crypto projects. Prediction markets. Why do you need so many of them? You're just dispersing the attention. Like they're already
exactly.
winners. And
Yeah.
so people like to chase. People don't like to create something unique. That's actually one of problems we have.
Why do you think that is the case? Like, do you think people feel it's safer? What do you think goes in people's minds?
Like I feel that there's no simple answer, but I think there would be at least like a certain amount of those people. There would be grifters that want to just make quick money, and
Mm.
if you want to make quick money, you chase the narrative and you build the shiniest thing that is in the market right now. You drop the token, you dump on your community, you dump on your investors, you put money in your pocket. That's it. Exit. That's a successful Web3 career. And there's a lot of grifters like that.
Yeah,
I think there are less and less of them as the years come. Like in 2026, less grifters than in 2021, for example.
yeah,
But I don't know. Like people are just coming here and they're thinking, oh, crypto is easy money. Money is growing on trees. We'll just make a copycat product and
yeah,
make a shitty token and then make money like that. I
exactly.
think that's one of the cases.
Yeah, yeah. So we already kind of touched onto the product itself. Let's say you're meeting me for the first time in an elevator. You have to pitch me SATS terminal. What's your elevator pitch for SATS terminal like?
Oh, depending, like, okay, it's a great question. What I'm doing is that if I'm pitching such terminal to someone, I know some information about the person. For
Yeah,
example, if I would know you are partner at a venture fund that is mainly investing into infrastructure, I would be pitching you SATS terminal as the only or the first native Bitcoin liquidity protocol. I would say that we are powering trading, loans, and yield through a single seamless SDK that allows you to integrate it into any wallet, into any dApp. And then I would be talking about advantages of our developer tooling that, for example, trading gives you a better output. That with Borrow, we abstract all of the DeFi madness and it's very, very simple. So even normie can take a loan and so on. But for example, if you would be a retail user that just wants to, you're not a VC, I would
yeah,
be just telling, hey, I'm building a self-custodial neobank where the Bitcoin is the core pristine collateral as the core currency. And I would be talking with you about the future where people are using Bitcoin in their everyday life. And I would be telling you about the future where SATS terminal becomes quote unquote Bitcoin Revolut or something like that. So it really depends on the optics.
yeah, yeah. I agree. And that brings me to a question. Like, let's say if you had a goal or like a mission for SATS terminal, what would that be? Is it like a Bitcoin revolution? What is that one thing? Let's say you tell your team, okay, this is where I want to see SATS terminal.
Well, one of the things that we are talking with the team is that we believe that a lot of businesses, and we already see that, right? Like a lot of businesses that have excess cash, they're looking for investment opportunities. They're putting money into gold, Bitcoin.
Mm,
Eventually, there would be more and more businesses, and after like mass mainstream retail would follow. And we are seeing SATS terminal as that key layer of that Bitcoin economy. So we are giving the solutions in a very simple way, very abstracted, that even a person that never had a wallet or never owned Bitcoin can use it. We're building that type of mobile app solutions for those mainstream users, and then for the businesses we're building all of the developer tools, and eventually we want to have SATS terminal as this octopus. Our tentacles are everywhere. We
mhm.
put one tentacle goes into attracting end users to our mobile app. The other one is, let's get all of the wallets to use us. Let's get to the miners. So miners, when they get Bitcoin, they need instant liquidity. They can use borrow, then, and so on and so on. So we want to capture every single category, and you want to, because again, I think that right now people are reaching sort of that mental parity between fiat currencies, dollar, and Bitcoin, in a way that they see that Bitcoin and crypto is something you can use in your day to day life. Like, look how many people are using crypto banks right now. It's everywhere. And then if you think about like mainstream, 99% in the world don't know that you can put your Bitcoin and work and
Mm,
make yield on it, or take a loan and then use those stable coins to buy something. We had a guy who was working with us 3 months ago. He took a loan when Bitcoin dipped and bought a car. Bitcoin
wow.
bounced back. That car was mostly free. People don't understand about those mechanics. And my thinking that in the next years, in the companies like Satsterm and like Garden, we are bringing more and more people to this. They're understanding, oh, actually, we don't need to put Bitcoin on my ledger or Trezor or something and forget about it. We can actually use it. Wow, we can bridge it to WBTC and use it in DeFi, or maybe we go to SATS terminal, just deposit it directly. So yeah,
Exactly.
it was a little bit of a long answer, but
No.
we want to, first of all, we want to dominate the B2B part. We want to make sure that we're providing the best tooling on the market. So every wallet, every dApp, and later every business can easily go and integrate our solutions. And then eventually we want to bring it to the mass audience.
Nice, nice. It's a great answer. Bitcoin holders generally, people have this perception that the Bitcoin holders just want to hold. They just want to hold Bitcoin. They don't want to do anything else. What do you think about that perspective? And what do you see happening like in reality?
Yeah, I think that the best, I everyone is asking that, absolutely. Like a lot of people are saying, hey, we will never do anything with Bitcoin. We were meeting Tim Draper in November, and I was talking with him about borrowing. The guy has 30,000 Bitcoin. I'm like, would you
Wow.
use a fraction of your Bitcoin to take a loan? And he's
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm not sure. What about security? What about this? He's interested, but he's a little bit worried.
Mm,
But there is a big group of people, and it's a huge underserved market, and it's growing every single year, that they want to actually do something with their crypto, do something with their Bitcoin, make it work. We saw a proof of that 2023, 24, 25, everything that happened, runes, ordinals, right now that's happening with Spark, some other projects that are building in the Bitcoin. People are keen to explore all of those possibilities in Bitcoin. I wouldn't say that they have higher risk appetite, but I think the paradigm is changing. And the best answer to this question actually gave me a CEO of Pendle Finance. We were discussing it with him. He
mhm.
told me that when they were launching markets for, I think that was for Solve BTC or something, I don't remember. They also had this concern that people would go to Pendle and they would not want to deploy BTC because it's digital gold, it has to be on cold wallet,
Right.
and they didn't expect that there would be a lot of activity. But in reality, when they launched that market, they got insane amount of activity, a lot of organic TVL, millions in organic TVL floated. So there's a big appetite. Also, one last thing to add to this. If you look at like even Babylon, they're not giving good yield right now. I think you need to do dual staking their token and BTC to just hit 0.5%. But I
Right.
have 60,000 Bitcoin in TVL, so there's definitely
Just this morning, I saw a trade. I saw someone
yeah,
deposit 100K
yeah,
into SATS terminal, and I felt so happy because it validates everything we are doing, right? Before maybe it was like $5,000, $10,000. Someone now is ready to put 100K a deposit into like application like SATS terminal and earn yield on it. That tells me that there is change happening. Like whatever work we are doing through these projects and whatever we are trying to explain to people, I think it's making us a difference, and people are now a bit more, like you said, people are not like have high risk tolerance, but they are understanding because they're trying to do their research and see, okay, there are applications getting built that can solve this problem. And I feel if you can get Tim Draper to put like, I don't know, like 5% of his BTC in SaaS, I think you won. I think if you're able to convince that person through organic activity alone, I think like that should be good.
yeah. No, also like for someone like Tim, who is a huge holder, like tens of thousands of
Exactly.
Bitcoin. For him, probably, if you would tell me, hey, you have 30,000 Bitcoin, do you want to get a loan? I would say yes. I definitely want to make my Bitcoin work. I want to make more money because even if I make couple percent extra, it has compounding effect. Eventually, I'll have a couple extra thousand Bitcoin on top. And excuse me, 1,000 Bitcoin is how much? It's like $80 million right now. It's
Exactly.
not a
Yeah.
bad money.
Totally
uh,
agree.
but for some of the for some of the Bitcoin maxis, of course, the thinking is that I already own the Bitcoin. I already have the best ultimate asset. Why do I need more? I don't need it to work. But they are losing. Eventually, they would be losing. They would be just like dormant holders of that Bitcoin. Great for them. But the people that would be actually using their Bitcoin to make some extra couple of bips, it would be compounding and building their extra wealth.
Yeah, exactly. How's been the user response so far? How long has it been since you guys been live? I think a few months, right? The borrow product, the lend product.
I wouldn't say a few months. Like we had a beta release like a couple months ago, but then I would say that like main release happened just 3-4 weeks ago. I think it happened right after the new year, so
Right, right.
it's probably less than a month. Once we added Morpho, once we added like referral campaign, actually it went live just last week. So
Mm-hmm.
we think about this last month as like we're live. Before that was just beta. We were
Right.
testing. We were even talking to all of our like close friends and family, people that wanted to test products, etc. We're telling them don't take too big of a loans. Right now
Mhm.
we went live and response is crazy. You mentioned this transaction that happened yesterday.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I'm opening Slack and I see 1.4 BTC
yeah.
collateral and someone took 67,000 USDC loan.
Mm-hmm.
That was wow. I'm like, that's amazing. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's all happening at the time when we are not pushing on marketing side that much. We're doing a lot of internal activities, and also we're trying to do these campaigns, but it's not a big massive marketing push, and still we have this amazing organic response. We also had a couple of other bigger loans for like 30, 40, 50,000. I think it's great. We had already more than 500 loans. We have like about 300 early users. And for organic growth for that difficult product, I think that's great. Because also, my thinking, we have trade, borrow, and earn. If you think
Mm-hmm.
about borrow, it's the most difficult thing to sell because
Yeah.
your average user, let's say a Bitcoin degen, he definitely understands trade. You just connect your wallet, you swap your meme coin, it goes
Yeah.
up, you win, it goes down, you lose. No crying in casino. Or earn. You
Mhm.
deposit it's like a good old bank. Deposit money, get your yield, you're happy. Borrow is a little bit difficult. I was always thinking about borrow that it's a tool for like more sophisticated investor, more sophisticated trader. But
Mhm.
that's actually what we are trying to change right now, to make it simpler, to make it as simple as possible. Even if you don't understand crypto, it would be a very straightforward process for you. And also to give maybe a little bit of alpha. We're putting that into a mobile app, but in the mobile app, the flow would be even more simplified. And we are also adding buy Bitcoin option, so people would be able to just click buy Bitcoin. You would have your Apple Pay button. You click, you buy your Bitcoin, and then with just 2 clicks, you get your loan. So that's where we are. That's where we are heading. And I think once we have that product in the mobile app, response would be just incredible.
Nice. Is the mobile app out or is it under development?
It's 50-50. We have like first version out on the App Store, but it only supports buy Bitcoin in US.
Okay.
In the new version that we're putting, we have a updated design. We added MoonPay for worldwide buy Bitcoin function. Added a lot of cool small quirks. But right now it's a little bit on shelf. We're finishing a couple of things and probably will come back to it in March.
Gotcha. Gotcha. One thing I have to say, I actually really liked your beta program, like before you actually went live. I think there was a good amount of time you actually did testing. I've generally noticed with a lot of crypto projects is that they are not very good at that stage. They just do the basic amount of testing and they just try to go live because for them, it's more about marketing. But I really thought you did a very good job with the beta program because you spent a lot of time gathering feedback. Like you said, you asking, friends, family, everyone to test out the product. We tested the product too, and you spent a good amount of time, perfecting that before you actually went live with the product. And yeah, I think that's actually one of the reasons why you have a very good organic community. I felt you haven't done like any of the inorganic stuff the crypto is known for. But still, I've always see like there's great following for Sats Terminal on Twitter. So yeah, I think that's really great.
Yeah. No, I think like for us, it was just when we started with trading with our runes aggregator, um, it really helped because there was no solution like that on the market. So there was like a clear need. And I think that helped us to bring a bunch of people. Plus, I'm not sure if you remember, but our early posts with like right now we have more serious, nice
Yeah,
design, great posts. Initially, they were pretty edgy. They were somehow crazy. People are not posting stuff like that. We had like very creepy stuff posting, and but that brought a lot of attention. And
yeah,
there's no bad PR, you say. So people were coming and discovering Sats terminal. And what the best I think is that I remember when we were going to some of our first IRL events with Rishab, and no one knew us. Oh, what you're doing, Sats Terminal? What is that? Like we don't know that. Right now we're coming. Everyone is like, oh, we know you're building this borrow
nice,
product. You
nice.
did this, you did that. This is amazing, and I think for us it worked pretty well because we were never resting. We were just pushing nonstop. Like, okay, trade is out. It's working perfectly. We have users. We have like good penetration in the market. Let's move on. Let's add more product lines because we knew from the very beginning that we want to make Sats Terminal this ultimate, your home of Bitcoin, sort of like your one place to go and do everything with Bitcoin, trade, swap, earn, spend, you name it. Maybe something else in the future.
Yeah, let's go.
Maybe
I'm excited.
gift Bitcoin also. I like that idea. I know many companies were trying to explore that, but maybe we would also come back to that in some time.
Yeah, I think it's a nice like add-on feature. Doesn't have to be like the star of it, but it's just a fun
Yeah,
little
yeah,
thing. You just gift you a little Bitcoin, see how it goes.
of course. That's the best gift because why I'm also mentioning that because we were discussing it just last week. My friend had a birthday, and what is the best gift you can give to someone? It's Bitcoin. Maybe okay. Maybe before the crash, that was also gold.
Yeah,
Yeah, but Bitcoin, of course. What gold you can send? It's you can send it in 1 second from one country to another. So,
exactly. Yeah. You mentioned, and I already know this, that you've worked almost, I think, in a broad spectrum in BTCFi. When the runes had taken off, you were working on runes. Up till now, I think you've kind of been like a very core part of BTCFi. So I wanted to know your thoughts of how BTCFi has evolved and where do you think it's going from now?
Well, I think we had, there's this. I wish I could show this graph, but no, okay, let's just skip it. I think we had a very quick start. It went like this. Then we had a little bit of slowdown, and I think we went through this
Yeah.
deepest point. So we're bouncing back and we're growing. I think initially, like 2023, 2024, everyone is focused just on trading solutions around ordinals and Bitcoin tokens, runes, and some other standards were also getting a lot of attention. Like BRC20s, of course, earlier were getting a lot of attention than some other tokens. So it brought a lot of attention from a mass crypto audience because people where at the same time when BTCFi was making first steps, people were trading meme coins. That was meme coin craze time. So when they discovered that there's this new thing on Bitcoin, meme coins and Bitcoin, everyone straight away went there. Liquidity
Yeah.
floated. But people just wanted to use it to speculate.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Bitcoin has certain limitations. Your swap buy sell transaction is not going as fast as you want to trade on Pump Fund with your Phantom wallet,
True.
right? You click buy and you wait for one block confirmation. And they quickly realized that maybe it's not the best for speculation. And all of those speculative projects right now, a lot of them, they are not on the market anymore.
Yeah.
But some of the serious builders that stayed in the eco for the last couple of years, they're shifting their focus to building stuff that actually makes sense and you can actually use in your day-to-day life, like borrowing, like earning with Bitcoin, spending Bitcoin,
Yeah.
like Spark Flashnet guys, like what they're doing. So I think right now we kind of went through this initial boom, initial craze. We cleaned the ranks, and now we have only serious people
Yes.
working on solutions that
Yeah.
make sense. It's not like another meme coin dex or another whatever. People are doing real things that make value, and I think that's great. And even though outsiders that are not in the Bitcoin Fi eco, they are comparing, they're looking at the runes prices and the market caps of all of those tokens, but that's wrong. That's not the way you have to evaluate the whole ecosystem. Of course, we
Okay.
have utter respect to runes. It's our number one loved Bitcoin token standard, and kudos to all of the projects we work with. They helped us to make our first steps. But I think if you're building in Bitcoin, you have to build serious solutions, not for speculation. Speculation, you can go to Solana. On Bitcoin, help me to build something where I can securely store my money and make yield. Help me, build something where I can get a loan. Bitcoin insurance, and so on. Like where Bitcoin is number one collateral, number one pristine asset. So you want to build solutions around that.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the asset for speculation.
Agree. I really agree with your last point. When you was telling your whole the story, that's what was running in my mind. Bitcoin as an asset, it's that value asset. It's where people are using as the portfolio, the big part of the portfolio. So having more like mature products on it makes
Yeah.
sense than speculative. I think that's a very good way to put it.
Yeah, like even think about it. Like someone is coming to you and telling you, "Hey, I gambled 500 Sol on meme coins," or someone is coming to you saying, "Hey, I gambled 1 Bitcoin." You would say to the second person that he's an idiot.
Exactly. Yeah, perfect. That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Nice. What are your plans for this year for Sats Terminal? What's coming up next?
I'm going to Hong Kong tomorrow. I'm a little bit sick, as you can hear, but I'm actively recovering with my strepsils pills and other stuff. I'm going to Hong Kong. We have a lot of business. We have actually a huge announcement coming, either during the consensus or after. We'll share more on X about that. And once I'm back, we are almost final steps on releasing our Earn first version. It would be also like yield aggregator, but we were spending a lot of time on designing our own wallets. So this thing would also be going live I can say the estimated time, maybe in 8 weeks, but we are working actively on that. And of course, we're pushing borrow as much as we can. I think we see that there is a lot of organic interest. Like again, without like much marketing, almost 600 loans, decent amount of collateral. So we need to definitely grow borrow business. And we have a bunch of products for Spark and Runes. What we decided to do, we would just sort of unite all of those trading products into one meta aggregator, where
Nice.
you would be able to use a Bitcoin to buy literally anything you want to buy. I don't know, meme coin on certain Bitcoin L2, sure, we would do a multi-hop trading for you. We would find the best route, where we would be involving bridging with Garden, by the way, where we would be involving our swap, where we would be involving some other trading products, and then all together, through multiple hoops, you get to your destination. So I think it would be kind of a cool meta aggregator product that we want to also release probably in a month. But overall, it's just yeah, we are building our web products first of all, perfecting them, getting more traction, and then looking into mobile app.
Nice.
Because why I'm also pushing for mobile app is that I want to use it myself. I'm not gonna lie. I want to have an app where I can get I deposit Bitcoin. I have all of the features. I can get a loan and then spend it. I can, deposit it, make yield. For example, I deposit Bitcoin, make yield, bridge that yield to USDC and spend it. I want that lifestyle Bitcoin
Yeah,
app, because I feel like I'm that 10 out of 10 target audience, 10 out of 10 target user. And I think it's also important that when you're running a startup, you want to build things that you genuinely like. And
exactly.
that's
Yeah,
what we like. So that's the plan. It's
yeah,
that simple.
yeah. I think you put it very perfectly. Like, when you're creating something, if you yourself, aren't in a place to use it, then I think there's like still a lot of work, definitely to do. And that brings me to one question. You mentioned Garden in that process. How has been the experience using Garden? The development and also your user experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what the answer to this question is. If we go ahead and we look right now, how many seconds it took to do the bridging yesterday for that 1.4 BTC to WBTC transaction. I think it took 12 seconds to
Yeah,
execute the transaction. That's amazing. That's what we need. We want to make sure that the process is as fast, as smooth as possible, and you guys are helping us to enable that. And that's just beautiful. So far, the process, the whole experience was amazing.
yeah. Happy to hear that.
Garden.